Whatever about yourself that you feel you need to keep to yourself because you don't want to offend, you want to impress or befriend people, that is what's keeping you from finding your people. Hi. So for our bevy of the day, I actually just came from shooting. So I did not make anything at home, but I did pick up a chai tea on the way home so I could be awake for you guys to do this video. So a clip from one of my videos that I shared, I think that was the Taking Back Your Power video, where I said one of the first ways to drain your energy and drain your power is by being around people that poke fun at everything that makes you you. But let me promise you something. When you find the people that understand you, that accept you and love you for who you are, it is a game changer. I got so many comments about, where do you find these people? Where are these people at? I've been looking for my tribe. One, let me say, in the beginning of this journey for me, it was very lonely. It was very, very lonely. And I think that was necessary because isolation is a part of the journey. When I say isolate, I isolated from friends, family. I spent a lot of time by myself. And isolation doesn't mean that you never see anyone. It means taking time to hear your own thoughts. The beginning of this journey of finding myself and of self-actualization was very, very quiet for me. It felt like I couldn't relate to many people. It felt like no one understood me. So you're not alone. I also felt this feeling of like, where are my people, especially when you're making these changes, right? Now, I also want you to realize that finding your people does not mean you need a tribe of people. I had this habit of like looking on social media and I would see these girl groups, you know, it would be like the power women. They all own businesses and they all hang together and they go out and they have dinner and brunch. And, you know, I was like, oh, wow, like I need this big group of friends. Don't get me wrong. I have friends, but I feel like we all have friends in different areas. When I was talking about like having these deep conversations about soul and like growing and having my own business, being in alignment, generational curse breaking, thinking about having a group of friends around that, I had a lot of FOMO. And of course, again, this was coming from a space of me not being so knowing of myself, not so confident in myself. I was in a very different space. And if you are in a space of feeling like you're left out, I need you to take some time to do some inner work, because that is something deeper. I had to realize that that was something deeper. I had to realize that that was insecurity in myself. That was me needing to be validated. I want to be a part of that. I want to be invited. I wanted to be in the mix of things, and like spending time alone and realizing what I really wanted, getting clear about the type of friends that I wanted, what I wanted in my life. It made it very clear the type of people I didn't want to be around. So I started to go to these empowerment events, these women empowerment events, and I'm laughing because my friends and I have conversations about these women empowerment events all the time, because I'm not going to say 9 out of 10. Let's say about 7 out of 10 of these events that I've been to, I did have some horror stories. I didn't feel too welcomed. Some of the girl groups that I seen on social media that I was like, oh, let me go to their events and maybe I'll meet people there that I can hang with. I would go and they'd be very cliquey. No one would be very inviting. They'd be really nice to their friends, but like outside of that, that was it. So I learned real quick the type of people I didn't want to be around. I learned also not to look at social media and think that that is what it is. I learned very, very quickly that social media is a highlight reel. It's like I knew, but I experienced it firsthand. There were so many people using the women empowerment movement as a way to make money, as a way to sell tickets, as a way to really feed on women who had low self-esteem, get them to buy in, and then you would go and you wouldn't feel that love. And so I get it. I get the fear of getting out and going to places by yourself, or, you know, going to try and meet people. It can be really weird. Let's be honest. I also think it's important to know what you don't want in order to get to where you do want. I know I want to be in a better space, but I don't know necessarily what I want. Sometimes experiencing what you don't want, that just clears the way. Like, okay, this is not the type of people I want, right? That helped me to stop comparing myself to people on social media. That helped me to stop having this FOMO. I met some of these people and I was in the space and the aura of some of these people in real life. And I was like, this is just not this is not the vibe. So that helped me to clarify the type of people I want to be around. And it didn't look like a certain person. She didn't need to have Louboutin. She didn't need to have it all put together. I wanted good people around me. I became very clear about that. I want good people with good energy. I wanted women that were driven, women that pour into other women, that have a goal in life that's bigger than them. That's what I wanted around me, just a good energy. And yes, I love a good friend that I could dress up with and shop with. Absolutely. But that was not the top of my list. The top of my list was attracting beautiful souls. I became very clear about that. And I had to kiss a few frogs, right? Like I had to put myself into spaces that taught me that's not where I want to be. The difference between being in a room of people that you are aligned with and that are genuinely your people is that you never feel like you need to be anything other than yourself, even when you're not in the best space in yourself. In these rooms, a lot of times I felt like I could not be vulnerable. I had to be on. My fashion had to be on. Things had to be put in place. I had to have it all together. Sometimes I would go with a friend or two and it made them feel that way. It just didn't feel good. The one thing about finding your people is that you are going to be able to be genuinely you. Be yourself. And that's going to be my number one. I feel like it's so cliche. We always hear someone saying be yourself, but let's really dive into what this means. Now, there's a difference between privacy and hiding things about yourself. I'm a private person, so there's only a handful of people who truly know my life in and out. Handful of people that can call me, text me at any time, right? I'm private. But hiding parts of yourself is a totally different thing. So if you have quirks about yourself, things that you feel are weird because somewhere along the way somebody told you they were weird. Maybe you get around people and you don't laugh as loud. Or maybe you don't dress the way you want to dress. Maybe you have a really quirky way of dressing, but you dress a certain way when you go to this event or you're around these people because you know they're going to have something to say. Maybe it's a certain type of music you like or movies you like. You keep that all to yourself. Not out of this is just my private little thing, but because you think people are going to think it's weird. Maybe it's just a view you have. You keep it to yourself. You hide it because you don't want to be different. Whatever about yourself that you feel you need to keep to yourself because you don't want to offend, you want to impress or befriend people, that is what's keeping you from finding your people. And your people might only be one person. It might be two people that you really can rely on, that you really feel seen by. Understand that it doesn't have to be this big group of people. But if you are dumbing yourself down and if you are hiding parts of yourself in order to be accepted by the masses, you might have a lot of acquaintances, but you're probably not going to have those friends. Because in no room are you allowing yourself to fully be you. You have to allow yourself to fully show up. And I know it's scary. I always have to speak to that part because I watched a lot of personal growth videos that are just like,
do this and you gotta do this. And if you don't do it, that's on you.
And it's like, no, I know how hard this is. I get how easy it is for me to sit here and say, show up and just be you. When being you can be the difference between you being close to your family and being shunned by your family. If that's the way you present your sexual orientation, it can be something huge. What I'm saying is, when you hide that part of yourself, you are stopping yourself. You are stopping the energy of attracting the people that you truly want. I get how hard it is to step into that because you don't know what's on the other side of that. But I always like to say if you're here watching this video, it's because there's something going on and there's something that you want to work on. And whatever you're feeling right now, is that worth never allowing yourself to see what's on the other side? I hope that made sense. Would you rather stay in this uncomfortability or would you rather see what is it like if I fully show up as myself and see where that takes me and see who that brings me? And you don't have to dive in all at once, okay? You don't have to make all these changes at once. There might be a couple things that you are just keeping to yourself. Baby steps. Start little by little. Write down a list of things that maybe you feel like you're hiding, maybe things that you want to actualize in your life, maybe things you're scared of telling the people around you. Get those written down. So write it down. Don't jump in all at once unless you want to. Do your thing. Your support group is right in these comments. We got you, okay? But really ask yourself, is it worth staying in this pain and staying in this uncomfortability? Like, you have one life. And the more that I remind myself of that, I have one life. I am going to enjoy it and I'm at least going to try. I'm going to show up and I'm going to try to actualize. I'm going to try to see that person in my head and be her as much as I possibly can and see where that leads me. And if I can tell you guys anything over the last 3 months of me truly committing to showing up as myself. You know, for the people who have been here with me for the last 5 years, even for the last year, you have seen me go through the ups and downs. And I can tell you that in these last 3 months of truly committing, I would say starting back at, is it you or your trauma video? I'll tag that right here. Starting from that video where I said I'm truly committed to this change, my life has changed in such amazing ways. More than anything, how I look at myself in the mirror each day, how I feel when I wake up each day, how I feel when I go to sleep each day. I've been showing up and being myself and allowing natural consequences to happen. Whatever falls off, because that's what's meant. I am being myself, and if that offends or if that doesn't align with, I can't change that because that's me. And so I'm going to attract the things that belong to me, and I'm going to release the things that don't. And the same goes with your friendships. If being you, if showing up and being the person you really want to be causes people to not want to be around you, then those are not your people. Even when you are not in the best space, your people, they will healthily let you know that. They will healthily walk you through it. They will healthily either step back and allow you to go through it. They will support you through it, or they'll be there when you're ready. The right people are not going to try and change you. There's a difference between holding you accountable, and I say healthily holding you accountable because people feel like they have a right to tell you how to be. The right people in a healthy friendship and healthy relationships are going to healthily hold you accountable, have conversations, and be honest. And of course, you have to be in that healthy space to receive as well. But if someone decides that you being yourself is worth them walking out of your life, you have to let that happen. If they're not willing to have a conversation with you, if they're not willing to understand you or try to understand you or to give you the space to figure yourself out, those are not the people you need right now. And I want you to be confident in the fact that what is for you is for you. And if those people need to come back around, they will. But in this time of trying to find your people, allow people to make choices for themselves. You just show up and be yourself. Now, here's the thing. Dimming your light for anybody is going to attract the wrong friendships because they're going to think that you're this one person. If you don't show your true personality, if you don't say who you truly are, they see you as somebody completely different. And so you're attracting from that space. You're attracting from the person you're presenting as. You can only hide those parts of yourself for but so long. And eventually your true self is going to come out and they're going to be like, who is this person? Or you're miserable trying to keep them down. Right? Because there are people who stay in friendships and relationships until they die and they're miserable. So that's a choice. You can just hide it and be miserable. You are attracting people from that space. If you're lucky, they end up being people that are understanding and that you can grow with and change with. But you have to understand that 9 out of 10 times, if you're acting like someone else, you're attracting people to that person, not necessarily you. And also remember this, the more that you pour into yourself and take time to know yourself and be yourself, the less you're going to want to tolerate people that don't align with you. It's like this automatic thing that starts to happen as you really start to pour into yourself and love yourself, get to know yourself and fall in love with yourself. You don't want that energy around anymore. While they might start feeling the difference in who you're showing up as, you also are starting to feel the difference in what you tolerated before. Allow that process to happen. As always, it starts with self. So doing that work in yourself to be comfortable with being yourself, understanding yourself, and then showing up as yourself. 2. Now I know I'm putting my foot in my mouth a little bit because I just told y'all the horror stories of going out and trying to find your people. But you got to get out. And I don't regret it at all. I learned so many lessons in what I didn't want that it made it easy to attract and to look for the people that I did want in my life. I told you I'm an introvert, so going out was it was the hardest thing for me. Going to events and I hate the word networking. I hate it. I really don't like it, guys. It makes me sweat and cringe, okay? So I was invited to be on a panel one year. I love it, but it also just makes me nervous, the introvert in me. But going to these events, although I came across people that were not my people, I also met some amazing women that are still in my life today that have changed my life, that have become a part of my life forever. And so yes, as with anything, as with getting out there and dating, as with applying for jobs, as with anything that you do, you're going to run into things that don't work. You're going to run into people that just are not your people. Everybody in the room is not going to be your person. You're looking for your people. A lot of you say you see yourselves in me, so I'm guessing a lot of you are more to yourselves, more private. You have a handful of friends. If you're anything like me, then it's only going to be a few people in that room that you're really going to click with. So probably when you walk in, there's going to be more people that you're like, ugh, probably not my person. And it's going to be 1 or 2 people in that room that you'll find that's your person. So don't be afraid of going in, and don't feel like something's wrong with you when you walk in and you're like, I don't really feel connected to many people here. That's normal. That's normal. Keep it moving. Be cordial, talk, and find your people when it's time. Get out there. You have to put yourself in the spaces. It's sitting at home, unless, again, if it's the mail guy, if that's who you're looking for to be your friend, then maybe if it's the UPS or the Amazon people, you can find a friend in the Amazon people. I mean, there's a lot of them, different ones that come to your door, absolutely. But if you are actively and intentionally looking for friends, get yourself out into those spaces. And so because I was looking for women who were positive, aligned with where I was spiritually and trying to grow, I started to look for events in women empowerment and go to those events. What's your interest? Start looking for events or things that you can attend that would have those people in that space. We are in the age of technology, y'all. Google, TikTok, Instagram. Start looking up these events. And if you have to drag a friend along, then drag a friend along. But don't be afraid to go at it alone, because the comfortability of taking a friend means you may not mix and mingle. You may not meet as many people as you need to meet. And again, this is coming from the most introverted person ever. And this was me before all of this, all of the self-actualization and all of this. This was me back in the beginning of this journey. So I want to say this was around like 2014, a couple years after starting this journey. I joined a burlesque class and I went by myself and I met some cool people. I also started taking fashion classes and I met a whole crew of people who became a part of my life for years. So I'm not giving you this advice as something that I didn't do. I looked for people that were interested in the things that I was interested in, and I pushed myself into those spaces. So that is my advice to you. When you're asking how to find your people, you have to get out. You have to be yourself, and you have to put yourself in spaces with people who are interested in the things that you are interested in. My mom has always told me this: you have friends for different groups. I have my fashion group of friends who they're my family at this point. We've been friends for so many years. We talk about life things, we support each other, we were in each other's weddings, we're at each other's big events. And then I have my best friends from high school. I have my line sisters. You have different groups of friends for different things. And you never know in what group you're going to find your person. It might be your best friend. You never know. Keep yourself open and get really clear about what you're looking for. Are you looking for other entrepreneurial friends? Or are you just looking for someone to start going to art galleries with? Who are these people that you're looking for? Get intentional, then start to look for spaces in which you will find these people. Now, in one of these events, I met someone who has become one of my best friends. And I would have missed out of that because of my anxiety, because of my fear to go to places alone, because of my fear to speak on a panel. If I would have allowed fear to be the dictator of whether I go to these events or whether I speak on a panel, I would have missed out on that. Asking yourself, what's stopping me right now? Is it because I don't feel aligned with this space, or am I not going out of fear? And if it's fear, go. Do not allow fear to dictate your movements, to dictate what you accomplish in life. Don't do that, because fear is going to take you down the wrong road every time. Feel the fear and do it anyway. That is one of the best things that I've done for myself. I cry about it often because stepping out of my comfort zone and, again, not allowing fear to dictate what I do allowed me to meet one of the best people that I have in my life. Do whatever exercises you need to do, breathe, journal, but get yourself in that room. If you're avoiding going to that book club meeting out of fear and anxiety, this is your sign to sign up and to go. Determining the difference between what's not for you and what you're avoiding out of fear is crucial. It is so important to understand what you're holding yourself back from because you're nervous about what may happen or what may not happen. You can't determine that. Get in that room. You never know what it's going to bring you. And I'm telling you, because I am one to speak, I secretly wish for every event to be canceled. I like being home. I love my alone time. But I have to ask myself, is this just anxiety? Yeah, it is. It's just anxiety usually when it comes to an event. It's just the thought of small talk. It's the thought of all the things. And I have to remind myself, this is anxiety. It's not something that I'm not aligned with. Get up and go. Let me just say, if you've been in this cycle of feeling like, you're not in the best supportive groups, or you've been looking for a certain group of friends or people to do certain things with, or to just feel seen by, to feel accepted by, to feel aligned with, when you find that first person or you find that group of people, it may feel really weird. It may feel like you want to shut off. It may feel like they're doing too much. Because if you're not used to being unconditionally loved by your friends, it might disguise itself as someone who's being too nice. it might disguise itself as someone who's being too much. I was that person before, where when someone was just being so nice and so caring and giving and generous, I would be like, okay, too much, like coming on strong. And that was with intimate relationships or romantic relationships and with friendships. I would be like, why is this person so nice and so giving and so generous? Like, and I would be so turned off by it. And that's because I was just in an unhealthy space. I was used to unhealthy relationships and unhealthy connections. I was used to people being closed off. I was used to people giving me a hard time. I was used to accepting tough love and having to work hard for people's love and acceptance. And if this sounds familiar to you, I just want you to know that the first time that you experience someone who just accepts you for you, celebrates you, pours into you, oh, I can cry right now thinking about it, because it showed me what true, loving, healthy friendship is. And I want that for everyone watching this. So I hope that me sharing these stories lets you know that you're not alone in this feeling. You're not alone in wanting to have that. I truly believe we need community. We need community to thrive. That is not you being needy. That's not you being reliant on people. That is pouring into yourself, understanding yourself, and then wanting a community around you to support that and to help you stay true in that. You're human. You're going to have your moments, and you need people to rely on, and you need people that you know are going to be there for you. I get it. So I pray you find the courage to truly be yourself, to step into all those weird things that make you you, and to find your weird friends that together you guys are no longer weird. You're just you. I love the quirks that you get to have with people who really see you. I pray that for everyone watching this. So I hope this is helpful. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any upcoming videos. And until next time, guys, keep living in love, in light, and in your truth. Mwah. Bye.